Test,
Let's
test.
see. Let's see. So I can hear.
How about now?
Connection is unstable.
Then I just lost you. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Is that better?
Let's
Gotta
see.
change the thing.
Boom. What's up? What's up, Denton? What's going on? First one here. First one here. That's what's up. Hey, can you hear? Can you hear Denton? I'm still having a small issue, Miggy. I can't hear yours.
How about now?
Let's see.
Still nothing?
Huh. It's interesting.
Because the mic says it's picking up. I'll send you a message.
Appreciate you, Denton. You know we got to work out the little kinks before we get rocking and rolling. Oh wow, okay, so you can hear both of us. Let me see something. I must have something going on my end then. There we go. I can hear you now.
We good?
I can. Yep, we good. We good. Technical difficulties on my part. And I just spoke to Darren.
Now,
he's about to jump on
what's
too.
Lovely. Now,
yep. What you been up to, man?
Big chilling. New year. Just picked up a new rodent rack from a buddy that wasn't using it. So the rat building is like doubled in size recently. So getting that going. So
have you seen a big increase? Are you starting to supply others yet or not yet?
So with I only had 1/6 level rodent rack.
Okay.
And I was just starting to produce overflow for myself, so I was supplying a little bit for one buddy. And now,
interesting.
Oh my gosh!
I'm excited to talk to you. So, I'm not in the rodents yet. So, and I got the plug on the rodents, like investment opportunity, like the whole 9 yards, where it's like even starting to be like another business venture for us, where it's kind of a hands-off thing, almost like a financial backer in a way, where it gives you return. And the scenarios, I'm gonna wait till more people jump on to tell like kind of the scenario, because maybe other people can kind of work it out in their favor as well with their local guys. Everybody's looking for capital in this day and age. So me and Darren always talking about different ways to kind of figure all this stuff out. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Me and Darren was probably on the phone last night for about an hour. I think we have cooler heads now. We're calm now after, it is, I'll mention this just for a second. I watch everybody, bro. I watch the big names, the small names, and everything. I'm trying to get so much information, but man, it kind of, give the industry as a whole a black eye. Definitely leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Darren can speak for himself. He felt the same way. That whole Sean Bradley interview.
God. Yeah, Darren actually sent me the post on Instagram. I was like, yeah. I watched the video. I was like, oof.
So it's like you look up to a guy, and then it's like, but it is what it is. I'm sure we'll touch on it a little bit, but we ain't really into the whole drama. We want to be positive, and if that's going to be a negative, on the industry, we'll touch on it and just keep on moving, man. Because negativity will bring the whole industry down as a whole.
No, 100%. I want to say Antoine was doing a really good job by providing his platform to the live stream that was just going on. So
right,
I just hopped over from that, and I thought it was a great like avenue for people to express their opinions and what's going on in their mind, to just shed light on the whole situation, because that's ultimately what we want to happen. Like,
man's uncle. Yes, you're right. It's racism with everything you do. I come from a law enforcement background, and way before then, before Audra and I was together, I come from the inner city. I come from up north, Newark, New Jersey. Racism is going to be everywhere, but you have to see that there are good people out there. That's what kind of has to keep you going, especially dealing with law enforcement. I mean, you're kind of worked third shift for literally 7 to 8 years straight, week after week after week. And third shift guys, I mean, and I'm not talking about people in general, I'm talking about the workload. You're going to deal with the worst of the worst as far as when it comes to the workload. You're not dealing with the working man. You're not going to someone's house because their flower pot got stolen. You know, you're not going to someone's house because, you know, they need some clarification, or they just need general assistance, or helping a little old lady cross the street. You're not dealing with any of that on third shift. Third shift, you're dealing with the worst of the worst. And it makes you have a horrible outlook on life, especially when it comes to like
directly in here.
Yeah, on especially when it comes to like for instance, like let me see how to balance this thing. Nope, that ain't
Perfect.
it. That ain't.
Just take the main screen. Boom.
There you go. Oh, there it was right there.
Oh my gosh. So especially when it comes to dealing with, you know, the homeless, I found myself even having a bad look on the homeless. That's because my contact firsthand, you know, 90% of my personal contact dealing with the homeless, the people that I dealt with, not as a whole, but the people I dealt with chose to be homeless. I mean, they chose to be drunk, cause issues. They had all kinds of assistance in our area, provided them aid and assistance, and they chose otherwise. All kinds of programs they chose otherwise. The same people you dealt with over and over. Now, the 10% that actually needed help, you will find that they needed help. They got some assistance. A lot of them got back on their feet. A lot of them were up and down, but they constantly fought the struggle, you know, to hopefully, you know, rise the next day. So for those, you know, people, I commend them, because everybody goes through ups and downs. But I say all that because it makes you have a negative outlook on the whole issue at hand. So when dealing with racism, man, you know, I guess since we all on now, I guess we'll just address it and be done with it and move toward the snakes. But we're talking in reference to the Sean Bradley interview last night. I was telling Darren, you and I had a long conversation last night, and I was telling Miggy how pissed we were on the phone with each other, you know, as far as addressing that issue. But that being said, everyone's right. You know, you can't control other people. I do not know Sean Bradley at all. I would like to meet him, you know, get to know the guy. The problem, in my opinion, where he put it on his own lap, was the acknowledgement of the issue. There was two scenarios in my head as a black man of how it could have went down. And for me, Sean Bradley could have been in the clear. I'm sure probably Antoine would agree. Scenario one, you're doing an interview. You've already had a troubled past. You came back. You've paid your penance. You've apologized to all the people you had to apologize. Had nothing to do with us. None of our business. Mm-hmm. And I commend that man on doing that. That being said, you're doing these interviews. You're having a little issue with this person, that person. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get along with everyone. But when you do this interview and it goes south that way, first scenario, you heard him. You stop him in his tracks. You tell him, hey, that's not going to go on my channel. Matter of fact, this interview is over right now. We're done. Have a good night. Sean Bradley would not face any issues, any ridicule at all. He would have been done with this whole issue. That's scenario one. Scenario two, he didn't hear him. Let's say he didn't hear him. He goes on and on, moves forward with the interview. At the end of the interview, people are messaging him. They're having issues with what went down. And he proceeds to go through the interview, cut the piece out, and then acknowledge that, hey, he heard it when he reviewed the video. He cut it out. He doesn't approve of it. And then people push to have the whole video taken down. That's cool, too. He took the video down. Again, he would have put out there that he didn't hear it. He didn't condone it. Once he heard it, he took action. Again, he's in the free and clear. Again. Now, in my opinion, I'm low level, you know, trying to climb up, trying to do my thing, trying to enjoy myself in this industry. His apology caused more issues for himself, because you went in front of the camera, you told him, hey, I acknowledge, I heard it when it all went down. I heard everything. I smirked because I was embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. What am I supposed to do? I can't. It's your platform. You could platform by not saying nothing. This is what's been going on for years as far as racism. By not saying nothing, you're standing with the oppressors. You're standing with them. Period. I mean, that's how it goes down. So it's a horrible situation, but that's my 2 cents on it. Hopefully everybody can, be nice to each other and encourage, positivity and push for greatness, because I see a lot of things that can come of this. I see a lot of things, a lot of hatred, a lot of evil. And we need to be going in a completely different direction. What's y'all take on it?
Well, I mean, go ahead, Miggy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Darren sent me over the clip last night, and I was talking to him a little bit. It sounds like you guys had a longer conversation about it, but the way it came out, it was like it wasn't a Freudian slip. So he's using the excuse, oh, maybe I was drunk, maybe this, maybe that, but it just came out too smooth. So the fact that it wasn't addressed immediately was a mistake on Sean's part.
Right.
And so it's right now in the community, there's like a lot of divisiveness and a lot of drama. And it's like, it goes back to some of the videos that I send you guys. It's like, it's the guy dancing, like trying to avoid all the drama, just like swerving, trying to avoid all the negative vibes, swerving. And then at the end, it's just like, we're all one big community. We're all trying to make it. We're all doing our own things. And like,
absolutely,
the divisiveness just makes it harder for everyone else. So in my view, it's, I try to avoid all the negativity, all the drama, and it's just I stay away from it. And it's like it's not right. Shouldn't have been done. He handled it poorly, but it's not going to affect me the same way it's going to affect you guys. So it's my 2 cents isn't as heavy as maybe your guys' 2 cents, because I
can respect that. I can respect that in a sense, in a major way, because and it was the apology thing. Because like I said, I don't know Sean Bradley. I would like to get to know the man, but in all my interviews of what I watched of him, he's very talkative. He gets his point across. He's very brush. I get that, but in that scenario, it's one of them, if he ever even sees this video, or, if anybody else can relate, it was a situation where he said, hey guys, I apologize for really, really letting this all go down. I deeply apologize, but there's no buts. Either you apologize or you don't.
The major thing that killed me, the major thing that killed me is the part where he says that we do it in our music. Now, I was kind of accepting a little bit of his apology, but when he said that kind of made me feel like, okay, everybody has an education from the difference, One is a sign of endearment. As you were the homie, we took a negative and made it a positive, where we do that a lot in the community. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, why do we have to keep explaining that to a difference? Where there was one point, rappers wanted to stop, some of the OG rappers wanted to stop using that word in our raps because everybody else started using it because now it's okay, right? Now, when you add the ER, that takes it to a whole different meaning. And that's where people got to understand that term is just wrong.
Right. So, I mean, I hope we all, take it in. It sucks because, the man, I watched some of his stuff. I watched people talk. I was watching Brian Barczyk and Brian Potter. They were doing an interview about experiences like the legend, Pete Call, and them having their personal experience. So he's been in the game for so long, and I know he's out of the game. So for me, and it may be my skewed view, my perception on it, that man, and again, I don't want to sound negative because this is not meant to be negative. It's just speaking on life. Once you reach a certain age, you're reluctant and almost refuse to change your ways in a sense. And when it's even more so when things don't have a financial impact on your life whatsoever, I mean, in my humble opinion, that man's never going to change. So for the people that's still younger in the industry, whether it's aquatics or reptile, whatever it may be, and you're trying to provide a message to bring people together, it's just a black eye for the industry as a whole.
Well, yeah, because now that's gonna,
is.
you know, when coming out and really actually speaking and putting your face out there, because it's almost like you never really felt like you were accepted in the community anyways. And then now that really brings out the forefront. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And it's like, oh, wow. Okay, well, you know, do we really actually take his apology for what he stepped for, what he's saying? But then when he turns around and said, oh, but he said it like he's saying, dude, what? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say that just like you're saying, dude.
Right. So, and you know, and we'll be done with this. But so Doc in the comments, very well, very well put. You know, if the man apologized, you know, well, accept it or don't. If you feel it's evil in his heart, then wash your hands of it. I understand that concept, but when something is directed toward you as a culture, as a people, it just hits different. And I'm talking about the whole concept of the apology. You're right. You're either, you know, you're apologetic or you're not. I just felt like it was more so, and I think it's more than just Antoine, everyone else, like, hey guys, you know, I apologize for this happening, but I mean, what's wrong with it? And I'm like, so that's what's causing the issue.
Yeah.
Apologize, whether you even mean it or not, then we wouldn't even have this conversation, you know, and say, hey guys, I apologize for this even happening. You know, I'm deeply regretting this went down. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'll take it down. Click. Conversation's over. Even if you didn't mean it, we wouldn't even be having this because I'm not that person. But you put me in your mind space when you say, hey, I'm sorry about this, but does it even matter? You know, that now, you know, so that's the gist of it.
It matters so much when he turned around and he even talked about, well, they're pulling down statues. Okay. There's a reason why they're pulling down those statues. We get that part. Okay. So you know what the real meaning on this, if you already acknowledge that they're pulling down statues over this situation.
Right.
From the city you're from, which I'm pretty sure New Orleans, it was high up there. You know, especially his generation where he's in those 40 to 50 plus, where it was, man, okay, now we're going to school with you, but you can't even date people outside your race. Where now it's starting to get accepted.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But we'll get off the hot seat and
but before we do though, I do want to shine a light on the positivity that has come through. Antoine for sharing his platform and getting everyone together to talk about it, letting them express their opinion is huge. The support that was shown on that, there was like 200 concurrent viewers that whole live stream, and I think it's still going.
Man,
so
I missed it.
Although it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, it does show that the community is coming together, and it's a bright light at the end of the tunnel, despite what is happening.
This is where we got to remember, once it's on the internet, even though you deleted it, somebody recorded it. Somebody did something else. Somebody screen recorded it. So if we're out there, we're out there.
He can't help that. You know, he can't help that. And I agree. And it's stuff like this conversation, you know, and I'm not one to, this was the topic of this small part of the podcast, but you know, I'm not one of them people to throw other people that's having issues under the bus. So I'll just use blanket statements. You know, what we've been seeing in the industry where you see one person against this person, and then, you know, it blows up so much between just conversation to, oh, when I see him, I'm gonna do this to him. And that's not this conversation. You know, this is more of why is this still happening in 2023? How can we fix this? You know, how can we conversate about that? Needs to be the approach, you know, a hands off, much more educated, much more appropriate approach to what's right and what's wrong. You know, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
So what's up with that Grail project?
Yeah, Miggy, that's why we brought you on. Let's see what you got over there.
What do you guys want to know? I mean, this season has ballooned like crazy. At the beginning or mid 22, I only expected about 13 females to be ready.
Okay.
Right now we're sitting with additions at about 23. that are ready for this season, and I've only had one clutch in 22. So there is no way in heck that I'm gonna keep up with that, and I'm probably only gonna breed about half. So
okay,
go ahead.
You sure you only want to do half?
Come on, Dad. No,
you gotta realize
no.
is in the same boat.
Come on, hey, look.
He just had his first clutch last season.
Hey, I need somebody to be in the fire like me. I'm burning. I'm like drowning, like the water, like drowning. I did a video about it. I'm like, yeah, end over your head is an understatement at this point. I say, yeah, this is the first season, and I'm not chasing any records. It's just something where I just kind of, you go down this rabbit hole. And you're like, oh, I want to work with this. I can't wait to be 3 generations and got these genes, and I need to start now. And you find yourself coming in on your first breeding season, and you got 60 females breeding. At least 45 to 50 of them is gonna go, and you're like, oh man.
How many clutches have you had so far?
One. I had 2, and I've got 2 in the incubator now, and I have. I'm expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 relatively soon. It's interesting.
The interesting perspective that you have, though, that's different from mine, is you're coming over from the gecko side of things.
Yes.
So you've done it. You've dealt with breedings in the past. Me, I first clutch, never had chickens, never had just a reptile keeper. Started keeping in 2016 and had first clutch in 22. Already have 2 on the ground for 23. So it's like it's on an exponential curve. So
no, I think
how many females do you really actually plan on breeding?
How many females?
Yeah, you plan on breeding.
Probably 15 this season.
15.
Yeah.
Go to 15.
So, So the list is 23, but a bunch of like 3 or 4 just single or double gene codoms. So those will be on the wayside. Probably need to sell those. And then I've got like 2 hypo girls that I don't have a male for, so that takes the list down. And then really to progress the Holy Grail project, there's 6 or 7 girls that I really need to breed. So the real bulk of it is 6 females.
We'll talk outside of this, but I mean, I have so many females now that I honestly don't even have parents for every single one of them. But I love the single gene hypo, especially with some of the stuff I'm working. If you're letting them girls go, we'll figure out something. Bro, I still got this girl that I bought that collection. And
the one that you're supposed to send over this way.
She's bowl wrapping. It's the craziest thing. She's bowl wrapping, and she is beautiful.
That's a spot nose head G-strap girl, right?
Pastel, spot nose, leopard, het clown, pos het lab. I'm amazed that this was even offered for sale. I mean, I'm sure I can work her into the projects, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, the Grail stuff is nuts. Some of the stuff that Get Morphed produces, Corey and his partner over there, is just insane. His leopard Grail stuff, bonkers. I saw some of it at the Pomona show, nuts. Like and then just trying to get pied into that, can only imagine. Like the way that the clown comes in, holds its oranges.
So that will probably be the angle to go for that. I was thinking
with her probably not, because she has spot nose.
Yes, she has spot nose. I want to test that lab out though. I want to prove it out. It's just like, but I don't have any lab males.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I keep adding stuff every week, man. And it's like, okay.
You're going big. Not trying to go home, huh?
Ain't no going home at this point.
Wait. Ask that number where he's at. What number are you at right now?
Man, I'm at 113 ball python.
That's not as bad as I thought.
Okay, wait. Let's hear that number of investment, because you could have that many ball pythons, and I got a bunch of $100 animals over there. But listen to the number.
Yeah. With the last purchase of the mystery purchase, I ain't dropped the video yet, but with the last purchase that came in this week, we're right there touching 280 grand in the last 14 months. So
think about that. Now, some of the stuff that you haven't even seen, because we talk every day, so it's like I hear all this new stuff coming in.
Yeah,
what he got, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
But I do have. I just put together. I ordered it's not really special. It's just got extra levels. But I ordered ARS 55 series rack, 12 levels. It came in. I got it together. It's sitting completely empty. So I got some room.
See, and that's the problem everybody wants to have. Yeah, I got a rack over here, sitting empty. It's together though, but there ain't nothing I can put in it just yet.
Well, that comes from the get-go, so it's always about being prepared.
Yep.
We started in the house before we built the facility here, and with the crested geckos, and we hit a point where we were producing so much high quality, high-end stuff that we started moving stuff out that we didn't necessarily want to move. But in order to progress the lines we were working with, we had to continue to step up, and we were hitting that wall of being maxed out on your space. So then we're like, you know what? We're going full-fledged ahead, invested a crap ton of more money, and built a facility. And it came together relatively really, really quick. And then it was, I don't want to say unlimited space, but we went from having, 1,000 crested geckos, including, probably young babies as well. And that being a ceiling and couldn't house anything else. It literally took, we have a decent sized house, but it took over half the house to house all of it. To now with the facility, theoretically speaking, even with the snake collection, there's still a lot of room in here. We have a lot of racks. We have a lot of custom built racks, homemade racks, special order racks and everything. But we house over 20, right now it's over 2,600 crested geckos. We probably can have over 5,000, but we're never going to go that high. We're never going to probably go higher than where we are, gecko wise, but that also provides more space for snake racks. So
he's like, snake geckos. Maybe I need more.
that Will Banks incubator now. I'm like, oh, we got two of them. We got our sea serpents, big XL incubator for the snakes. And for the geckos, we did a video. We're going a different route for the geckos, as far as trying to keep their eggs at 68 degrees, which is why his incubators are really cool. So we got with his incubators for the gecko eggs, but now we're like, we want to step it up. I seen Miguel's video about, it can hold 64 clutches in the big incubator, and I'm like, oh, I think we need that.
I got two of the Cornell's World, the same ones that Billy from Mutation Creation had before he stepped up to the Will Banks. Man, I can get 60 clutches in those, but I want one of the Will Banks. I'm gonna have to sell those two and just get one big refrigerator that's 400 pounds. What is it, 300 pounds?
See, but for people that don't know you, they'll be like, yeah, that's smart. That's smart. But he ain't gonna do it. He gonna get the Will Banks incubator. He gonna get the Will Banks incubator and sit them right next to his Cornell incubators and just fill it all
like,
up.
That's backup.
Yep, see, I know it.
That's backup.
We were just talking about it. And yeah.
I was like, hey, Darren, I can't put all my eggs in one basket,
I know. So tell us, put them on the hot seat. Got to move it to the middle. So how many snakes you got?
100.
With it too. He got 100 and something. How many breeder females?
In these racks behind me. That we'll just say that. And then there's racks that is sitting on.
And how many males you working with?
Woo! I got almost 50 males. 50 males.
Yep.
50 males, rest pretty much females, and then whatever I got for grow ups, out of the males that I got, out of the babies that I still have. I still have like 108 babies.
I was gonna say you got a backup male for your backup male to your backup male.
You know it. That's why we're going. You know it. No, that.
And Will, that gecko money must be good,
you
huh?
got two of the same ones. Back up to my backup.
We broke, man. We're broke. We broke.
That gecko money good.
Look, it's a corporation. You know, they work us hard. You know, them boss man over there, flawless man. They do.
Oh yeah, I seen the video. You've been fired a few times too. He got a video out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you over there at Home Depot. I'm fired, but for some reason I still got a job.
Hey, you know, she keep calling me back, so I gotta keep going. You know, keep on building. It is what it is, though. You know,
looks like Frank's on Darren's level right there. A backup for your backup. We already know the deal.
Yep. Definitely. So,
all right. Since Darren's on the hot seat, what's your most anticipated pairing for 23?
Right now, it's the Stranger stuff.
Is he paired up right now?
Stranger clowns. No, he isn't.
Let's see.
I just pulled him out. Remember, we want to get this guy and laugh. Let me see if I can.
He's got some weight on him too. Yeah, he got some weight on him.
I'm trying to get him to take another meal, but he just got done unpairing.
Okay. Where's he sitting at?
He's that clown. Shoot, we can weigh him right now. He was at 750 before.
Oh yeah, he's bigger than my boy.
Oh, he's ready to go.
He's at 730, so he lost a little bit of weight.
Really? Yeah, my male, he's hanging in there strong. He'll only take a meal probably once every 3 weeks now that he's been breeding, but he's hanging in there about 650 grams. So he's hanging in there pretty strong. So
are you feeding rats or are you feeding mice during the breeding season? Okay.
Rats. I haven't really changed anything as far as during the breeding season. Well, Darren probably will confirm, like, I'm real scared as far as, you know, jumping back and forth from rats and mice. Right now, I currently actually have one male that I'm going to post available. That's a mouser. And he breeds, he's good to go. But he's a pewter clown and he just refuses to take anything but mice. And I've heard so many other horror stories about it as well. So it's kind of scary.
Are you allowed to have ASFs where you're at?
I heard no, but my rat guy says that we can. I got to do more research, but I've been staying away from ASFs as well. And it may not be smart. You know, I'm here for the education. I don't know everything. But the reason I stay away from the ASFs is because they're so hard to come by where I am, even if they are available. So I don't know. I gotta figure that out. And it's not to a point where they're not eating at all. So figuring it out.
Maybe you fill that hole in the market if it's available, you know?
Man, I don't know how, if I'm able to do a completely another business and clone. I need to clone myself to be able to.
But Miggy, he is full time in this. That's a step.
Yeah, it's full time. Yeah, but wait, it's a step. But wait, you know, again, got to be transparent. I'm full time in this, but I ain't made $1 off of ball pythons at all.
Yeah, but you still have the other end.
So
you know what I'm saying? Ball python's gonna come. Yeah. I think it's gonna come faster for you than what you think because of the cutting edge stuff that he has. Because that last pickup that you picked up, the double visual. Come on, man.
Yeah, and she just shed out too.
You gonna tell him?
Do tell.
Tell.
I guess
matter of fact, you already did a video on it, didn't you?
I did. I just ain't posted. This is the one that just released. So that big ultra male pod girl that just released. But yeah, I'll go off and show her as well.
Yeah, go ahead, zoom in. Let's take a look. Watch.
Sneak peek. Put yourself on the big screen.
Uh-oh, here we go. All right, so let me throw this out here first.
Disclaimer, boys and girls.
Trying to keep track of these girls. I got them labeled as 1 and 2. So this is 1 in the left hand. This is 2 in the right hand. They look kind of, plain pot girls, but both of them are 100% het for DG. This girl is right touching 1,200 grams, and this girl is 1,175. So,
yep.
Yeah,
show off that male.
All right.
Wait. This is the main ingredients. They the other half.
I can't see.
The male that I picked up that is now 710 grams is a DG pod male.
710 grams delivered to your door.
Yeah.
Who'd you swindle that for?
Delphi, out there by you guys, actually.
By us. He's in Vacaville.
Yep.
Undercover. Didn't even know about him.
Delphi pythons. Look at the
Wow.
color. Wow.
You never heard of him, huh?
Mm-mm.
See? And
He's not out there really on social media. I was skeptical, but it was a really good businessman, man. And I was skeptical because of his social media. In this day and age, I actually did a video on that about our stages. As far as social media branding, you know all about it, Miggy. You've been pushing hard too. You got to create a demand for your supply. So I'm not worried about the supply, even though I'm building the supply, but you want to create a demand unless you're going to be just stuck with stock. So I came across some on Morph Market and was going to get, one actually from Miguel from Always Evolving Pythons. He had 2 and still sour. It was on me that I missed it. We were going to BALLZ, so I kind of missed out on it. But he had 2 males that were pinstripe leopard DG pod males. So I was like, wow, okay. But next thing you know, when I looked and tried to contact them, both of them were sold. So for everyone out there, snakes are still selling, guys. You got to get into higher end projects. And it's hard. You want to work with everything you enjoy working with. You got to have some type of enjoyment. And I love Desert Ghosts. But the thing is, me and Darren talk all the time. There's a fine line between hobby and business. If it's going to be strictly a hobby, then guess what? Your business, that's your hobby. You can do whatever you want with it. You can have all these racks. You can do all this stuff, feed your supply. But in my opinion, you need to not ever complain about making sales because it's your hobby. It's irrelevant. Making sales is irrelevant if it's your hobby. Now, if it's your business,
that's me. I haven't complained yet.
You still need to work project. If it's your business, you need to work projects you enjoy. So that's why we're getting all this stuff that we find fun and cool that we can create from. But you have to look at the business side of it. You can't get, in my opinion, a pie and another pie, single gene, and breed them together and wonder why your business, not your hobby, has 2-year-old babies, juveniles grown that you hatched out, that you post every week, update weights every month, and you still have them. The point is probably a bad business plan, business execution, but also it was probably a bad business ideal in the first place because there's no demand that's going to provide you sales for all of your supply. So it's just my take on it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you were saying you were skeptical of the pickup because the lack of social media presence, or what was it?
Yes. So I'll explain that. So, and maybe this can be a nice learning point for everyone. Again, I'm not a professional at it. It's just my 2 cents as a beginner. There's 2 points I want to make that me and Darren talk about all the time. The first easy point, if you're a seller and you're on Morph Market is going to be the end all be all go-to spot for someone that's looking for a ball python. And it's good that it's like that because you have all these genetics and all these breeders that's going there. And if you're not known, which is what we did in the Crested Gecko world, we joined on Morph Market as well. We utilize Morph Market as well, but we have a standalone website that we do majority of our business from. The point of going on Morph Market is like, hey, if nobody knows a Flawless or knows who you are, like now, we don't sell snakes. You know, we have a couple posted, but we don't do major sales there. No one knows who we are in the ball python until they catch your videos online. They catch your social media content on Instagram or Facebook. They familiarize your business in a good light, good message, positivity, like we keep preaching. And they see that you're good people. They can put a face to the name. And they feel a little bit more comfortable working with you, dealing with you, especially on your earlier sales where you have no feedback at all and you're trying to generate sales. You can't just jump out the door. Darren and I was talking about it the other day. If I have an Exantic, pied, desert ghost, male, female, whatever, it's irrelevant, and I post that snake for $20,000, and my brand is Joe Blow brand. You don't see no Instagram, you don't see no Facebook, you don't see no YouTube, and I'm not gonna sell that snake unless you're picking it up in person. But I mean, it's not very likely that I'm gonna sell that snake. Especially if you're putting it up there for numbers where, you know, Justin, Canova, or Ozzy or stuff are having competitive pricing with the same exact animal that has tried and true records. The only way that you're going to start to make sales in that realm of snake sales is if you make yourself accessible, you put yourself out there, you go to shows, you meet and greet, you campaign, you do the Miggy campaign. You know, because I see you everywhere, man. I actually look up to that. And you got to commend
every show too.
Oh yeah, he doing his numbers, he doing his legwork. So I was skeptical in a sense of not knowing who this person was. He did have his name listed, but he didn't have his phone number listed. We have phone numbers listed. We want people to get in contact with us, whatever is the easiest way possible for them, for the customer. So I messaged them, try to get a little bit more information. And again, this is a positive review on Delphi Pythons. It's owned by John Scully. And it may, you know, so happens that he was in Vacaville, California. No Instagram, no personal page, Facebook, no nothing. No YouTube, anything. You look at his sold history on Morph Market, he sold one snake, and it was like in September. It was a pod het DG female. So in a sense, I'm taking a huge risk. I've worked things out before. Actually, Darren and I, we've worked on some projects where I purchased snakes, and you know, he's went and picked them up in Cali and, you know, held them until shipping was good, or like it's good to have friends, you know. So I was close to telling Darren, hey Darren, I'm gonna send you this money and go
do it.
That. But the guy did something that was pretty cool. I told him I was interested in it. It was before BALLZ, and he messaged back, and then he actually said, if I'm serious, you know, could he give me a call? I was like, absolutely. So he called me. We spoke on the phone, which makes things more personal for me. You kind of get the tone of someone's voice. You kind of can sense whether they have a sales pitch or they're trying to push. It was no sales pitch. He just, you know, telling me about the snakes, telling me about everything. He took extra pictures, in-person pictures at his home, current weight, everything of the snakes. So now I felt a little bit more comfortable that at least the snakes were real and were his. So we took a chance, and we purchased. Still could have got scammed, but we didn't. He did proper business, great business doing that, and I commend him on the business that he did. Which actually, after getting that mail, securing the mail, I saw that he listed two other females, which are those females. They're 2020 females, and I'm like, this is crazy. 2,500 a piece. I need those females, you know. So I hit him up again, and it was crazy because it was the day before he was shipping my mail, and I'm like, hey, can you give me a call? Yeah. He called, and he's told me about, you know, his situation and everything with the females. And I'm like, yeah, sign us out. We want those too. So he said, all right, no problem. Send me tracking, labels, pictures, everything. And I didn't even request that stuff. And he sent it to me. And then, like I told Darren, I said, after he sent me tracking and, they got here and they were safe. Then I was more open to kind of talk the man up in a sense where I wanted to know, hey, here it is. I have these snakes here in my collection. What was the parents that made them? Because I'm a beginner. And the reason I wanted to ask that was, he has 2 other double visuals posted, a female and a male. The other male he had, for my preference, didn't want that male. But it's highly sought after male. I think this male is too, but it was very high white. I mean, the tip of the tail was Desert Ghost and the head was Desert Ghost. So I'm not good, and I don't claim to be good at IDing. Obviously, I could see that was a Desert Ghost pied, but if it's that high white, the chances of it passing high white on to, I would assume, would increase with offspring to come. And I didn't want to, I want to take the best chance of having a little decreased white. So that's why I chose that one. So Audra looked at it. She's like, yeah, it's cool. She's not really into, the Desert Ghost per se. I'm into it. She's into more banana, more the lavender albino, which we may be getting a male now. So she's into that stuff. I'm into the Desert Ghost and the kind of pies and like that. So the other aspect of selling, because we do it the same thing with the crested geckos that people can learn from, is the way he posted everything. He posted and just kind of forgot about it. He let his animals sell themselves. I get that. But there's a little bit more you can do. Me being in the buyer field for so long, for 14 months buying, there's things that I look for. That's where I was going to. I jotted out a whole business plan on things I need. I didn't just buy all breeders. I bought a ton of babies that the whole game plan was I need specific genes for specific projects that I don't care if it takes me 3-4 years to grow up to put into that program. I went out, jumped on some banger males, bigger males, exactly what I needed that cost more money, unfortunately. But getting them here, and then I'm able to also now create hets that I need moving forward and create revenue to come in the future now to fund itself. So that's the structure of everything in a sense. So when I'm online and I'm looking, Audra's looking, she stopped looking after we hit a certain dollar amount. She's like, all right, we got enough. And I'm like, no, I got to keep looking. So
what was that amount? Like 150?
And yeah, probably less than that. Yeah, probably around the 75 mark. She was like, okay, yeah, we done. She tells her story all the time, so I'm happy she's not down here now, because she's like, oh yeah, he said we gonna get 1 rack, 15 snakes, and we'd be done. But plans change.
Yeah. Hey, but you see, he was looking over his shoulder, right? Like she was coming.
Oh man. I know, and it's live, so she may chime in. I look. Yeah. Oh wait, she is chiming in. She
did.
I like the orange jeans and the color. Look, and she said, like, for real. Yeah, she's serious. So her budget was been capped out. She was like, yeah, we done, and she's like, another one, and another one, and another one. So, it's been an amazing role, but not to ramble on for too long. The things that we ended up looking for once we secured all of our babies to grow out for our future projects in the years to come, we started looking for things that can provide us for what we need now, but also provide us with revenue, because everyone in breeding, as well as the crested geckos, you're going to have byproducts. And what I mean by byproducts is stuff that you don't necessarily need for your program to grow, but someone else will need it for them to continue to step up. Whether it's double hets or triple hets or quad hets that we're working with, it can allow someone else's program to start, making monumental jumps. So when I started looking up there, looking at, single gene pods or single gene clowns, you set a threshold. Hey, I'm gonna pay $1,000 for a single gene pod or a single gene clown. And if it falls in that threshold, you jump on it. Oh man, you jump on this pod and it had Inchy in it. That's a plus. Or you jump on this pod and it had fire in it. That's a plus. So it's extra perks to picking those up, and then you throw them to a ultra male pod, or you throw them to a DG pod, and you creating some magic for yourself, and also revenue to continue to fund itself and get yourself out of the red and into the black. So when you look at them, like this guy posted it, my male was 450 grams. The other male and the other female that still posted 2 double visuals are both listed as 450 grams. I am no one to tell someone else how to do their business, but my first advice to someone that's doing that, dude, update your weights. You just sold me a 450 gram male that arrived to my house at 710 grams. Like, you're gonna get more people jump on your product because they know it's so long and it's very competitive pricing, and people want to buy it because they can plug. I'm probably not, but they can plug their males right in immediately, So, and it can generate, it can generate income immediately without waiting. A lot of people do that on their females, babies, and we're not talking about a few grams. We're talking about like literally a couple 100 grams in difference in weight. As a buyer, you're going to be happy you receive a heavier snake than what you bought. But as a seller, you can sell your snakes or sell your product faster if it's more accurate. So put yourself on a timetable of, hey, every 2 months, I'm going to update my weights, whatever it may be. That way, and his inventory is not that extensive where it wouldn't took that much time. I mean, he took it on his own to send me current weight. I never even asked. And I'm looking at him like, wow, okay, this is a huge snake. Is it the same one? So then I started asking, once I got them here about the parent info, I wanted to know if the parents that made my DG pie, if they had any codoms in them. And he was curious, but I told him, hey, I'm new. That's why I'm asking, because I wanted to sure, hey, maybe I might get lucky, not only get a nice DG pod male, but maybe it's it's got leopard in it or something where they pass it on to the. Oh no, see, you and this cryptic. That's one gene we probably not gonna work with. I like cryptic.
Hey, you know what?
Nope.
Yeah, go ahead and breed a clown to any of that stuff.
Yeah, especially some of the stuff
right now.
Ozzy.
they make crazy pies.
Yeah, but look, how much is it in? It's in. People are saying that it's showing up in their DG stuff. It's showing up in their Ultra Male. Plus, you grab stuff from Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy's having it pop up in his collection and stuff that he was like, "Oh, that's a Krypton."
Oh, let me show you what Ozzy.
And it's showing up in his puzzle stuff.
You're picking anything up from Ozzy. You're just like, fingers crossed. Let there be some weirdo. Let there be some weirdo.
This is my Ozzy boy.
Nice.
See, okay, but say what it is. What are all the gens?
This is.
It looks OD, NG, leopard.
You good? You real good.
What else?
You
is
way
there?
better
There's
than
something
me.
else.
So this is Orange Dream, Super Inchy, Leopard, Hypo, Visual Hypo, Pod, 66% head Ultra Male.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and he's putting on size. Thank goodness.
only reason I got close is because I have one similar that's probably my most anticipated pairing of the year. It's this girl right here.
Something that he's dealing with right now. Who'd you pick it up from?
Morphs out in I forget where he's at. Oh, sorry. I think he's in like Virginia. Tehran, I believe is his name. But OD Enchi Leopard Pied. That's going to my Grail Het Pied boy.
Man, you're gonna have to show off that grill.
God. Now, how much is she weighing? Because she looks big.
Oh, she's 1450. She's being paired at the moment. Yeah.
Wow.
So
now, I know you're dealing with the ultrasound. Can you palpate yet?
No. No shot.
Yes. Hey, you are not alone, Miggy. You are
No
not
shot.
alone. Yeah. I have no. I told him I got weight lifter hands, so I don't have solid. I joke
It ain't even about having soft hands,
down
man.
the back. She good.
I wish I had I wish I had excuse like I had callus on my hand. I just have never tried.
Yeah, oh man. I just got like my hands are just built of callus.
Here's
Oh man.
the all-star for the year. Let me see if turning off the light helps a little bit. I think it just made it worse.
Yeah, you can turn that
That's
back.
the grill.
Probably back.
Oh, you see the clown in it. You can see the clown.
See the clown in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the light just like
You can't dim the light just a little bit.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. You can see it better.
so just a Grail hip hide. So trying to make.
You picked that up from Justin.
Yeah.
Now, have you picked anything up from Ozzy yet?
Not yet. No. I saw a couple of the animals that he has listed. The proven breeder list that he just put out.
Oh yeah.
And some of those are looking real enticing at the moment. But he's the all-star. Never shows up well on camera, especially with all the light. It just washes out. But one, my dog is scratching. I apologize, guys. But one of the.
Now you good.
Go ahead.
Now you good.
But
now is it holding the lavender color, or does it still look kind of albino-ish?
It's definitely holding.
Yeah.
It's definitely yeah. One sec.
Go ahead. Hey Darren, show us some of that. Yeah. That's what I was coming to say.
See that lavender color? Can you see it?
Yeah. Audra loves that. Loves it.
That's the only thing with some of these other genes being in there. Is it going to still hold that color? He's coming towards my face.
My question to you though is, what about rainbow? How you feel about lavender, rainbow? You feel they're the same? You feel?
I feel they're
different.
They're different. See, let me show you this other female. This is a female. I would say she's on the lighter end.
I think rainbow and lavender are definitely different. And
is
rainbow
she's
on the lighter end? She's not as dark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a little more purple, but they have like a hypotone, if that makes any sense. Like around the edges, like the oranges look hypo-y. If that makes sense. But it's definitely super cool. Like I saw it, and before I jumped super heavy into lavender, I was talking to Jason Amos for a little bit, and he's like, "Yeah, rainbow's the next big thing," which it very well could be. But
right.
It's getting a slow start. It seems like.
Yeah.
Jason was out by me. Jason, well, he's from the Bay, so he's out by you too. So, but that's who I got my stranger stuff, some of my Exanthic stuff from, and he had an inchy. He was the first one I seen with the inchy rainbow in his tubs. I don't know if you've seen it when you went over there, but when I seen that, I was like, "Oh, that's it. That's it.
That was
that's it." I feel he's ahead of that project. He's ahead of that project.
Yeah, he's definitely got a. I mean, I really like what Enchi does in lavender.
I like Enchi, period.
Oh, yeah.
I like Enchi, but that's because also you got to think about it. For me, especially with pods, like Enchi brings back pattern. So anything that's going to bring back pattern for me is going to help me, because my eyes are not good at IDing.
This is just Enchi candy.
Oh wow, yeah. And you have no problem distinguishing candy from lavender.
Oh yeah. So let me show you a.
Hold on.
A candy female.
Oh wow. Wow.
The light's gonna distort that, but Enchi Cypress Lavender.
Oh yeah, that's one of the ones from Justice,
huh? That show actually he just posted. I don't think you had put in a description what it was. I'm like, it's something lavender. He's big on lavender. It's something lavender. So that's that cypress in it that's making it pop like that.
Yep. Like the belly pattern's just crazy. And she gets it. The thing about Enchi and lavender, like with every shed, it just gets oranger and oranger, and it's just so fun to watch.
This is candy. See the difference?
Ooh,
it's a lot darker.
A lot darker.
A lot darker. It's almost like they brown out. It's almost like that color turns like a brown.
It's like a banana.
Without
almost,
the spot.
But not quite. So when you see a banana, watch, hold on. Let me pull up a banana. See, this is the banana.
It's
see
close.
See how much darker it is?
Are they the same?
Yeah, it is dark.
Same genetics.
This one it has pastel in it.
Okay. So
that
does wash banana out a little bit.
I'll show you a single gene banana. Watch. This is one of the hatchlings from this year. So.
And if anybody watching, they want to see a gene somebody here is working with specifically, just go ahead and comment. I'm trying to keep my eyes on the comments as well, and we'll pull it out and show it off. That's what this week's episode is just all about, just kind of hanging out, getting Miggy on, especially he wanted to chime in. So that was really big, really, really huge. So we just want to show off some of the stuff we're working with. We're going to make it pretty regular episode, whether it's every 2 weeks or so, but kind of make it really consistent.
See the difference? That's a single gene banana. And then the candy.
Yeah, I would still have trouble if they were both in my collection.
Nah. I mean, when you see them, you'll know because it's really like a brown.
I'd walk by just to poke fun. Sure, that's not a Tofino.
Yeah. Hey, now I should have some of those this year. I have a huge girl. Yeah. I have a huge girl.
Look, the Tofino,
the
Tofinos have more of a lavender color than a lavender to me.
Really? Well, we're gonna see because I'm gonna hatch out. I got Tofinos that's about to pop. She's about to lay. I got a Toffee girl that's about to lay. That was bred to tri-stripe albino girl we have. Male we have. So he's putting in constant work. So that's gonna be a really cool breeding on that. Let's see. But I do have, which I don't know, don't want to jump into it too deep, but calico. I think I got a good line of calico.
I have a huge calico girl.
Let me show it off really quick.
Now, Miggy, have you seen the difference from the calico and the sugar?
Personally, I think they look similar, but the one that Garrick put out, the lavender sugar that he has is bonkers.
So this,
I'm in love with that. I made heads.
This is absolutely crazy. Okay, this is insane. This is a banana calico pin. It's one more gene. Banana calico pin. Banana calico pin. Hold on. Banana calico pin. Cinnamon.
Banana calico cinnamon. Okay, so
I'm surprised Pinstripe doesn't take over in that.
I thought me as well, but then with the size and that white, I think calico is playing a huge part, contributing the colors and everything pattern that is displaying in this. But
so when you see calicos, you see more higher white, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one is just
low
sugar.
expression.
See, but I think it's
granite
also
look.
it's levels of calico and sugar though. Quality.
Okay, I'm gonna show you my big girl too. This is het for
On
laugh.
the expression of white.
That's nice.
Okay. See, and that makes it hard too when you start working with the het influences. So when you start working with the
but you
het
know what?
influences, it
The
makes
only thing lavender does to me and the het influence is you might have a het and it's just a little bit lighter.
Oh, it definitely
It's
brightens
just
them.
it's lighter.
I have pied girls and pied het lav girls, and the pied het lav girls are definitely brighter.
That's all it does. So this is the mom.
Nice.
And see how
Oh yeah.
her babies came out just like that.
Yep. I could definitely see that.
There's like no real white on her.
Right. And that's sugar. Or is it
This is
calico? Sugar, okay.
Sugar. I don't have any calico. I had a calico female.
Ooh.
And I sold her.
Pastel calico.
Yep.
See that pastel calico, I think that does compliment it. I'm just so anti-pastel. I'm trying so hard to stay away from pastel, but I think it compliments calico big time.
But she is a big girl.
She's higher white, huh? Too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who'd you take her to, or you didn't breed her yet?
She's seen that Grail Het Pied boy trying to make heads with her.
I knew he was gonna do that. Okay. Hey, I would have done that too because that is such a big step. Garrett just made that whole visual for everybody to the next level.
Garrett, yeah.
But she's not het anything, is she?
No, her no.
So
I wish.
Now you're right where I'm at, making the head for that because nobody has it. You would think, why hasn't anybody tried that combo? And it's so old. Nobody tried it.
The thing I like about lavender, it's that it's a gene that's like been slept on because there's been so much done with it, and it seems very limiting in terms of color palette wise, and everyone wants that crazy pattern and stuff. And a lot of lavenders do wash out. Like I have a lavender pinstripe girl that's just looks yellow. She's yellow.
Yeah.
But there's some combos like the lavender sugar. Like there's so many different angles, that you can take them down. Like if you want an orange snake, lavender enchi, that's the way to go. Right. So I mean, they've been slept on for so long because a lot of people have had lavenders, and so finding new angles to work these snakes is super exciting. Like just that lavender sugar that Garrick made.
Yep.
It's two genes that have been out forever, just discovered.
Yep.
Crazy.
Right.
It's one of those things where we almost, because we think something's going to look a certain way, sometimes it doesn't end up that way, and I think we need to stop being fearful. Oh, that might not work. Let's just try this because everybody's been doing this. This is what kind of sells. But that one little step.
I don't think that's fair though. Everybody don't have, backup males. You know what I'm saying? So everybody ain't got 99, females and tubs and growing out 80 more babies. So you gotta be critical.
I get it, but if you have it, hey, I might have to just try that. Just try it to see how it turns out. Sometimes it may not turn out the way you really want. I mean, but still, I would have to try it. Now, a lot of people did the pinstripe labs. I don't know why we ran with that so much. And pinstripe has been just as popular as sugar or calico. So why don't we say, hey, you know what? That didn't work because obviously the pinstripe is going to overpower it. Well, what's going to happen with the lav? Well, those dark pins, guess what? That's going to be lav, and then the yellow's just going to bleed all into it. So it's going to look one.
We're going to try something new. So we briefly started. Darren actually started this conversation last night, and we stopped it. So in like 3 minutes, we're going to do everybody on choose, but 3 minutes. New gene. You bring something in from imported. All right. So new gene. The threshold, the requirements that you're working with is similar to all of us right now. We're limited. Let's say everyone's limited on space, finances is limiting, and time frame and investment. So you see something Outback website. It's like it's a huge purchase. It's a $4,000 baby. My question, the layout of the question is: would you prefer that $4,000 new gene, possible new gene, it may blow, it may not, you may not prove it out. Do you prefer it to be a male for $4,000 or a female for $4,000, and why? Being that your what you already have, you have quality in your tubs already, whether it's male or female, that you're going to take that to. But you're limited on space. So that means anything you take that male or female to, you're now taking out of existing programs to whatever else you would have bred it to. So my question is, do you prefer at where you are now in the hobby, a male or a female on a new gene?
Male, no doubt.
Okay, so you say male. Darren, you say male too, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I say female.
Okay, tell them why you say female.
Why?
So I'll take the platform on this. So hopefully, and again, this is not professional. This is just us putting our input. Hopefully, everyone listening can take a little bit of 2 cents from each individual's point of view and perspective, and hopefully learn something from this. I'm hoping to learn something from you guys. So if I have 4 or 5 racks, I've gotten let's say females and males, whatever. So I would want that prospective new gene to be a female, and the reason I would want her to be a female, I'm talking about risk worth versus reward, and my ROI, my return on investment. So you put $4,000 into her, you grow her out for 2 years, minimum for 2 years, probably going to take longer than that. I can now take, and again, it's a dollar value, not really genetics. I can take a $20,000 male, put her to that female, and at that point, she doesn't prove out. That's the avenue. If she proves out, whether it's male or female for any of us, it's a win-win situation. But we're saying we're all in on it and it doesn't prove out. You're mitigating your risk on that, because at that point, I just took that male, added 1 female to his lineup, which was her. He bred to her. They had a clutch. It was viable, whatever. The gene did not prove out, whether it was recessive, whatever. It was just something that was a visual aspect of that female. It didn't prove out. It's not a complete loss now, because I took whatever genetics that was in that $20,000 male, put it into those babies, didn't prove out on the female side. You recoup your investment, you make more than your investment, and you move forward. The problem with it, if it was a male, I get that male, it's $4,000 investment. I take more than a $4,000 hit on the negative side if it does not work, because now I take that male, I grow him out for a year and a half. He starts breeding. I take 4 to 5 $20,000 females and pair him to them. You don't get that same outlook, because yes, you can recoup the money off of that male, but you just took 3 to 4 extra females away from projects that you were already pushing and working hard, that you basically blow on. So that was my perspective.
You wouldn't do that, because they would have the males. If you have a $20,000 male, the male already has his plate full with the females that you're putting them to. So he's not going to have he wouldn't necessarily have the bandwidth to go to this unproven gene. So how would that work? You'll have to start considering what is your time worth, because it's going to take longer to get the genetics out there. What if it's a recessive? You're not going to see it on the first go around. You're going to have to pair them back together anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've just extended. So if you're keeping girls back to back to back, you just extended your time to hit this recessive over 3-4 years, as opposed to using the male, putting him to the girls that weren't in the breeding plans.
Mm-hmm.
You have the space to keep those babies back, and you put the babies back to the male to prove out to see if it is a recessive genetic. And that saves your time. I think your time is worth a lot more. Forward.
Oh, it is. It is. I don't know. I just can't see. If you have your collection already, and this is just something that you're adding to it. So you've already, it's like, for instance, the Grail. You have, 4 or 5, that really wouldn't make sense, but 4 or 5 Grail girls and put them all to them, that wouldn't make sense. But you have the equivalent of Holy Grails and Grails in other genes that you're going to put to this male and introduce this new gene. And you're assuming that the gene blows. It doesn't prove out. So those females could have still been in, your other projects, producing, versus you just taking a hit from just that one female.
Yeah, but also what he's saying, if you that one female, say if you had one female, right, and you bred that one female to a male, the trait may be recessive. If it's recessive, then you have to keep a boy back to breed back to the mother just to see. And if it doesn't prove out nothing, then you turn around. That's it. With a male, I feel if you bred a male and you pick 2 females to breed them to, you could take those offsprings back to each other that are half the genetics. You know what I'm saying? So take it back to each other, only keep maybe 2 clutches of those babies. I think keeping 12 eggs, 12 babies, you sell most of the males anyways and hope you hit on another one. But if it is prove out to be co-dominant and you bred it to 2, you would see it right there in 2 different females.
Also,
no, I get that. I think.
Go ahead.
No,
I know you're
fault,
thinking of
but
the females and the value of the females that you have. If you went with the regular project, you're looking at, hey, I'm gonna miss that. Where those are 20 grand females, so that's 40 grand. I take them to that male that I already had that had the visuals. Maybe if it's double recessive.
Not exactly. Almost. I guess to get us on the same page, I guess you have to throw some genes in there, I guess, for it to make sense. So I take a clown pie. I take 2 clown pie girls, and I breed them to stranger. Okay, a single gene stranger. Okay, now that stranger male, I breed to them clown pie girls, and we have 5 eggs each girl. They both take everything. They lay them eggs. Now there's value, especially in the newer, when stranger first came out, there's value in now both of those clutches. Both of those clutches, half of the babies are going to come out stranger, and half are not going to come out stranger, but the entire clutches is going to come out double head clown pie. Now, I'm trying to put it, I guess, visually for you guys, where that's a great example, because now with that same example, and you got genes out there, this was a new gene, stranger, you bred it to 2 clown pie females, and come to find out, when the babies hatch out, stranger was not a gene. So basically you just bred 2 clown pie females to a normal. So yes, it still has value, because essentially you just had 2 clutches of double heads, versus you breeding, those 2 clown pod females to clown het pod male or pod het clown male or whatever, where it pushes the value up. That, I guess, that's the reference that I was trying to make.
So the scenario, I wouldn't necessarily put myself in that scenario.
Right.
So if you're wanting to limit your downside risk, you'd put the new gene to females that you aren't using, like say a normal, to prove it out. Because if it is a new gene, the value of that new gene with your speed of implementation, if you have a male, if you do prove it out, that price tag is astronomical regardless if it has additional genes. So why would you give yourself additional risk by putting it to one of your $20,000 females?
Mm-hmm.
See, and that right there is an OG answer, because they would always say take that male to one of these older genes, just a single gene Mojave or a single gene. Mojave's like one of the ones that they used before clown. You know, if we looked at something and we're trying to prove it out, they were taking the Mojave. But if you found something and it's new, okay, and it looks subtle, you would take it to the clown. There you go. You know, that's the wow factor of taking the clown. Like once it hits clown, it's everything. If it looks good in clown, you know. So, but to prove out the gene, people would say use the OG stuff, which is Mojave. And if it looks different in Mojave, then that's where we go with it. Hey, that's a new gene. So, who just did something?
I've heard that a lot. Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, somebody just did something like that and proved out a gene in Mojave. I think you sent it to me, Will. It was a new gene, and they were taking it to Mojave. They're from the same city as you, the same state.
Leviathan.
Yeah, what's that new gene they got that they picked up? And
actually, it's out there. It's out there now. Nyala. I think it's called Nyala.
That gene, if you notice, when you pull it up on Morph Market, everything was bred to Mojave to make it look different. But then I'm gonna show you this Mojave, right? He did that gene and he added it to Mojave and it made het pies, right? They're het for pie.
Right.
Look at the comment that Joe and Jody just left.
This is just a Mojave het pie. When you pull that up, it looks just like that.
Right.
Nyala's been around for a little while, hasn't it? I think Anna in Texas.
Oh, wow, yeah. I think
so. She works with a lot of it.
It just probably made some ground now that people are starting to really actually look at it. I never really paid attention to it.
Yeah.
But there is a
great
gene
point,
that's
Joe.
new. I want it.
Oh yeah, I know you. We're gonna talk about that too. But good point, Joe and Jody. That's definitely very smart.
Yeah.
I think newer breeders like myself, like I said, that's why these are good topics of discussion. You know, you instantly want to create groundbreaking, ground changing stuff without necessarily having the foundation or footwork like the Canova facility or space and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it's always going to be a gamble because you're looking at it as a gamble, risk worth, you know, versus reward. And I think you're 100% right. I think Miggy, you're 100% right. And it's just one of them unfortunate, you know, and I hate gambling, you know, I'm not a big gambling person. But it's one of them things where it's like, okay, you know, this is going to cost what this is going to cost, you know, and hopefully you win on the downside of it. So, but I agree with you because it's, and again, that was a scenario we're talking about where it's like, all right, you are in the front of it, but you don't know that you're guaranteed to lose. And the end result is, hey, what are you going to pick, male or female, potential new gene? And then, hey, the gene don't prove out, you know, how do you mitigate the risk? So I agree with you guys. Definitely agree with you guys. Now being on the spot, making the smart decision, I'm like, damn it, I don't know. But
Yeah,
it's a tough decision.
The two females. Well, if you got one female and it ended up being, this is where I was saying, when you look on Outback's website, you know, some of those females, I'm like, ooh, that looks like something. Now, I might have to take that chance and just grab that female versus, you know, if they had a male that was not as crazy as that one, I was like, that one kind of looks like it might prove out, maybe not. But some of those ones that they had, they're like 4,000 or 5,000. I was like, that kind of looks like something that's going to prove out. But then I see stuff that are in the 200-300 range. I was like, that might prove out too, and it might be a female. Now, then I might just pick a female up and then work with that from there.
Let me see if I can find that Nyala thing. Hold on.
I believe it's
it's on Morph Market. They have some het pies, some Mojave Nala het pies on there.
Is it showing? Hopefully it is.
It's showing us double like 3 times.
Oh, is it?
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Let me
See that? That's it right there.
It's still showing 3 times.
No,
No,
it's
you're
showing
good. You're good.
Just Morph Market.
Okay. Yeah, so I see that.
There's a lot of
that's
floating
pretty
in
cool.
alien heads too.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
And
yeah,
that's
it
another
almost
thing.
looks sunset. It looks sunset to me. That does.
What were you gonna say, Miggy?
I was gonna say, when you start like messing around with the thinker gene, once you start adding all these other genes, it becomes that much harder to identify.
Oh yeah.
So like the super entry that you pulled out earlier, your super entry OD super entry
Right.
pied. It like if you start with something like that and try to prove it out with a dinker, it just becomes exponentially harder to find out if it is a new gene or not.
Right.
So
no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
When you put so many genes into it, it's almost like where they talk about start off with the base and kind of work your way up to just see if it's doing something different and what it's doing with that one gene. Then versus, if you bred it to a clown pie, the babies are going to come out normal. Or if that was a new gene, it would come out as that new gene, and then that's it. But who was it? I think somebody said that one of those imports was really carrying the tri-stripe gene. So then when that female that he didn't even know was carrying the tri-stripe gene, he got his new gene and the tri-stripe in there and didn't even believe it. Like, what is this? This is even crazier. Thinking,
oh, you're talking about
another gene.
The extremist.
The extremist gene.
Yeah. I watched that video last night.
That's crazy.
Was a really cool gene. Now, I know y'all all over social media too. I seen a gene that I cannot refine or relocate. It was almost like the boa constrictor IMG gene where it increases the melanin. And somebody said it was in ball pythons now, and it's supposed to be a new gene. Do y'all heard about that gene yet or no?
No, but I know what the IMG boa looks like.
I think KG has it from Bomb.
Is that Bomb Project?
He showed it on on one of Jackie's lives. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
So is it completely black?
It's very dark. It has a white belly.
And that's
it.
It's
very dark.
Yeah. So he's on to something.
Gosh.
Them boys, I told y'all, man, y'all boys out there, y'all dangerous, man. Especially out there in Cali. Y'all got next time we gotta get Mike up here too from Insane Clown Pythons. Him, Bomb Projects, man. Some of these projects that y'all working with, High Desert Python with this Sunset, and man, y'all really all in. Y'all talking about me and Audra going, y'all all in. So it's
but some of those guys been all in for a while. You know what I'm saying? That's a different all in. It's gradually. You kind of came in and bam, like
I'm trying to learn. But I pride us on trying to also have conversation and learn from the industry and learn from other people's mistakes. Even when they admit they're like, yeah, I did this way, it didn't work. I should not go at it and say, hey, I'm gonna do it the same way and come back and say it ain't work either. Like it kind of, adjust and move with the times, and that's what me and Darren always talking about because he tells me his dreamsicle issue.
A hobby mindset. It was more of, hey,
right,
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But it kind of gave me the feeling of, okay, I could breed these and I could create something.
Right.
So having that feeling, I created it. I just thrive for that. Like it was just a project where it was like, I want to see it to the end. I'm dedicated to this. And then now you got to look, you're like, oh, now it's $1,500. I could buy it. And you're like, oh man. But I mean, I'm glad I went through the process of doing that. That changed my mind of what I could do now and then what I should pick up and then add to the project where it's like, okay, I can
And
get
we
here a
have
lot
to too,
faster.
because then I was able to hear the story and say, "Hell no, I ain't doing that."
Hey, but it
Hell
helped
no, I
me
ain't doing
out,
that.
right? It helped me out, so I'm glad.
Yeah, hell yeah, you helped me. Thank you.
But then that helped me look. Hey, man, you could have
But
done this a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, I sure could have.
Speaking of dreams, I've got a dream clutch in there, and then an OD Enchi dream clutch in there in the box right now.
Yep.
Oh my god.
OD.
I got
OD
a
Enchi.
chocolate Mel. I don't know what
Mini
I'm gonna do
YB?
with it. I got a chocolate.
No
Mel,
YB. OD Enchi pinstripe.
OD Enchi pinstripe.
Trying to miss on the pinstripe.
You know what? Has anybody made a chocolate laugh?
No.
Oh my gosh!
I think Miguel has some het laughs.
Miguel, which one? Oh, some chocolate.
Have you guys
laughs.
gotten anything from Miguel yet, or
no? Not yet.
No. Okay.
Nope.
I need to though. I was gonna say you're taking the Miguel approach.
Yeah, trying.
And being on social media, that's a big step right there of what made him how he is now.
I don't know how he does it though, man, because it's a lot of work for our limited content that we push, and we push hard. It's a lot of work. And I sit back now, and Audra and I, and we sit there, we're like, man, how did we even do this before we started doing it full time? Like, where did we get the time from? I don't quite understand it, but I guess you get rid of one thing and you fill it with something else you got to do. So
desire, you filled it with desire, and you got it.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cutter sign. Who's going to Arlington? We won't be making it to Arlington. We're trying to ramp up now for Tinley March. So we're making that road trip to Tinley March. We have a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we're doing. Actually, this weekend we'll be going down to Billy Rice Reptiles. We got to meet up with him down in South Georgia. And also we got to go to Plano Trailers. We got to pick up a trailer that we had built in South Georgia this weekend coming up. So we have a jam-packed week, along with editing videos, posting videos, and all of that stuff as well. So they won't see us in Arlington just yet, but we're planning on trying to get around to pretty much all the NARBC shows. We found through our experience that the NARBC shows are the biggest shows. They bring in the biggest crowds, and that's what we're about. Not necessarily, and I know it sounds ass backwards, but we're not really there for the sales per se. We're there for the people contact. We want the people to people contact. I think that's priceless. It goes so much further than cash in hand at some of these shows. Some of the connections we've been able to make. Yeah. I'm sure Miggy would say the same thing, man. When I met him, it's so funny because when we met him in Tinley, it felt, we meeting each other for the first time, but it's like, man, I've been talking to you for months. Like it just felt, it felt like real. It felt like you meeting like a relative, like your brother or something. It was real chill. It was no like adjustment kind of weird vibe.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. And I think that we get a bad rap for that in the industry, because even before I got into the reptile industry, everybody looked at it as, oh man, snakes, man, y'all are weird. It's like that's weird. But it's really not. It's just a bunch of different people, all into the same thing. They come from different walks of life.
Well, that's because when you first saw people in the reptile industry, some of them were kind of out there. You kind of like, you're a little weird. You're a little weird. You're not normal. But it's cool. I kind of like what you got over there. But yeah, and now you starting to see people really embracing it and coming more. When we first had the SAC reptile show, in 2011, I went there. The vibe of everything really started changing over the years. Mm-hmm. It really changed a lot. And people really actually care about their setups. It was more of like, I put a table up. I don't need a banner. I don't need anything. And I got some boxes. right here and some little cups, and maybe I might put a tarp over the top of it, and then that's it. That's my table. You know, now you're starting to see people really actually feeling like they're set up for shows, and it's like, okay, I got my banner, my logo. I'm making a name from. Hey, I even got a card now. You know, not write my number down. You know, hit me up right here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, that's what it's got to be about. So when's your first clutch dropping or expected to drop, Miggy?
So I've got 2 in the incubator at the moment.
Okay.
Closest girl is that pastel calico girl. She's at 16 millimeters right now. So I've got 3 over 10 mil. So just two more dream girls, and they'll just be locking. So probably in like
keep
the
sending
next
me
6
them
months.
ultrasound videos too. Keep sending me them ultrasound videos, because I don't know how you mastered what you've mastered so far, man. It take me probably 30 minutes to check probably 5 females.
How are you doing it?
I gotta own it.
How are you doing it? Are you leaving the girls in the tub, or what? Are you grabbing them?
No, I'm bringing them out. I'm setting them on the table. They really don't have any barriers to kind of block them in. And I think what it is, when they touch the table, is cold. So then they're trying to search for heat. So they're not really
leave them in their bin. Just pull the whole bin out. Just have your probe ready, and then just start from halfway down and find the gallbladder. And then once you find the gallbladder, you go a little further, and then that's when you should see the follicle string.
All right. You've been going through a lot of jail, or not really? Yeah, I go through a ton of jail.
Not really. I've got the bottle, and I've ultrasounded a few times now, and I've only used like that much.
Oh shoot, yeah, he's a pro.
We'll lubing it up for like some special occasion.
I probably don't want you half that bottle.
Hey, when I've seen that, I don't even have an ultrasound because I'm old school with it. I believe in Ozzy. Just put that little bit of lube on it. What I've seen, that's it.
Yeah, just make sure make sure you get enough gel on the entire probe, because that's what's helping it read, and then just move the gel down as you go. Like use the edge of the probe.
I ever seen anybody use it was at Justin's. And
he was holding her. He was holding that girl, and that snake almost bit him. Did you see that?
Oh, wow.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. The snake like struck at him, and he's like just moved back and then continued, and like found the follicles quick. Yeah.
Yeah, Audra was like, I'm going up to the house. I'm out. Like, I'm out. You can deal with this.
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more. Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask. Tell me more about the rat facility. I want to hear more about that.
Whose rat facility?
So, what was going on with that? Is, well, no, we started talking about it when you were, black folks are always fashionably late. But we started talking about Carolina Rodents, which is who I work with. He's amazing, Drew, over here in South Carolina, and he makes a huge run. He supplies Tennessee, Georgia, some of Florida. His facility is getting to be pretty elaborate. He's ordered a new building for dry goods. This week, I'm actually going to be over there helping him. He's driving up. He had to get a Penske truck to go up to ARS. Actually, I think I shared one of his posts. He had 15 racks, rodent racks from ARS that he's picking up. Mind you, he already has racks in his facility. So he's driving up to pick them up because it would have cost him a fortune just to ship all of them. Like he would have had to pay for an entire transport trailer, the entire truck for delivery. So he's going up to pick it up. When he comes back, I help him set up and everything. But it's one of them things where he gives me very competitive pricing. I don't complain one bit at all. He's extremely fair. But you have to start looking into some of these rodent guys. Miggy's kind of already on his way to having a rodent facility, so he's already there. But where you can buy into some of the equity of what they have to offer. So if you can help them with capital on whether it's rack purchases or whether it's supplies or manpower, whatever it may be, then you can kind of influence the return. So some of them will go, well, if you're liquid for dollars, where you offer 10 grand up for capital, and he can use that for whatever he need to expand a building. A down payment on a building is not going to get your whole building, but a down payment on a building, whatever he can do to expand his facility and his operations, then basically you start to pay something like a maintenance fee. So it's 10 grand. It will be something like 10 grand. I'm just throwing this out there, something like 10 grand up front. And then every month you pay $400 a month for the next like 6 years. So it'll be a time frame of 6 years. So it's heavy in the front because you got to fork out 10 grand. As soon as you fork out the 10 grand, you still got to start paying $400 a month. You figure that in as what, 4,800 a year, times 6 years, and it's substantially lower than going and paying per rat.
I already did the math. Hey, our rat California gas prices. I already done the math.
Right.
I'm not even gonna say how much it is, but you saving a whole lot because
right.
If I would have done that years ago, how much money I spent on rats, not breeding my own.
But there's risk. There's risk. There's risk. More risk on the investment side of it than the rat guy. The rat facility, you're going to have your own little issues, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you shut your doors, I mean, it is what it is for you personally. Now that's where the risk comes in for your investor, because if you put up 10 grand and you start paying your maintenance fee every month to alleviate some of your costs on the downside, if he shuts his door after 2 years, did you break even? Not really. Or if he shuts his door after a year, you're really screwed.
I
think if you hit 2 years from what I had and from the prices we have here, if I hit 2 year mark and just put that up front and then pay him the little monthly 400, I'd be so good. I mean, if I made it 1 year, I'll be kind of like 2 years. I'm like, shoot, I'm
see, but then,
right now.
Now what you end up working with is a reputation. So like for him, he's amazing, bro. I'm seeing nothing but growth. I even see a strong social media presence he has, pushing and growing, showing this facility off, showing the upgrades, pouring cement, all this extra work. So I'm like, man, he's building an extreme, like a good foundation for growth in his business. Now, if it was the same person and he was like, and there's nothing, not coming at anyone. I'll throw that disclaimer out there. But if it's somebody's in their mom's basement and they're, 50 years old, which it shouldn't matter. I'm just trying to throw a visual, but they're in their mom's basement, they're in an HOA and all this other stuff. And you gotta literally be meeting them at like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's like some real shady stuff going on. The likelihood of that continuing for long, like you're picking up crack, continuing for a long period of time is unlikely. So you want to basically, I guess weigh your risks. Everything is risky. Remember that video Darren sent to me. Everything is risky. Life is
risky.
Have you talked to folks that have tried this? I know Will at RCR has a buddy that did kind of a similar thing where his buddy came to him and was like, hey, I want to quit my day job. Sounds like your guy, the Carolina Rattery, is already like doing rats full time, but his buddy came to him and was like, hey, how can I do it? And then they set up a facility, and his facility is crushing it. Like they're doing very, very well. So if you have,
Bob is doing that now.
Yes,
Bob has his own rat facility, because we hook up with Bob all the time. We go to his house and everything, try to pick his brain. He's very informative as far as his knowledge and his ability to help and his willingness to help. He had no incentive to help me. I mean, I purchased from him. I purchased, I think, 1 or 2 snakes from him, But I mean, that don't guarantee, somebody can help you. So him opening his doors and being so helpful to us has been amazing. But he informed me with his facility that he, bought buildings, containers, like trailerish type buildings, put it on property, pay. I don't even go to his facility. He has his staff he pays. He has 3 or 4 people that he pays to run it. He supplies obviously all the materials, everything for it. And on his feeding days, they bring it to his house, his house is his facility, but they bring it to his house, drop off his rats and anything that don't get eaten, they take it back to the facility. So he has it really, fine tuned. So he's done just that. The problem on the other side of it, investment wise, is troubling for me at this stage to be on that level. He's on a high level where, you never want to get inside somebody else's pockets, but he's making money. Cool. He's making bread. That's great. The issue with it, and he's even explained the same issue. He's thankful for having the workers he have. Miggy probably know where I'm going with it because he's doing his own rats. And so are you, Darren. But to find someone dependable enough to be and consistent enough to work your facility that you're financing and financially backing is going to be a hard find. You're going to be hard pressed. You're going to be hard pressed for someone to come in. Even now, Miggy, if you were able to find someone, even a smaller collection, one rat that say, hey, you ain't even got to tend to your rats. I'll show up. I'm in senior year in high school, whatever. I love this. This is cool. I'll get some extra pocket money. No uniform, blah, blah, blah. And they come and, they may be amazing. They may truly be amazing, but think about it. You're paying them, you're good, everything is cool, and they break up with their girlfriend. Or, like it's just life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you constantly. Oh, yes, you can't avoid these issues. I'm one of them people that always think about risks. Audra will tell you the same. We come up with plans, and I'll tell her, she come up, I'm like, oh yeah, that won't work because of X, Y, and Z, and then she'll get mad. But they come down, and it's like you got to figure out how things are almost foolproof, But yeah, that would be the best thing to do. That would be the best thing to do to get it to go that way. Even Audrey just chimed in and said, "Gel gets everywhere." Gel is everywhere.
Hey, y'all keep that to yourselves.
Oh damn!
No, but I was gonna mention because because you're on Ozzy's Patreon also. He's another side of the coin. He just sold a bunch of his racks, so maybe talk to him about getting his perspective to see like, hey, what are some of the downfalls that may occur, just to secure your upfront investment. So
he must have been like really overproducing for his collection then. Like, I know he was selling some, but you had to been producing a lot and be like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of this many racks. What was it? What do you say? Like 6 racks or something like that?
Yeah, it was quite a few.
One of the guys that was
he had to let go Robbie too. He had to let go Robbie
recently.
Well.
One of the guys that was at Justin's, he's the one who bought those rat racks.
Really?
Jersey ball? No,
Jersey balls. Yeah.
Or Jersey boy balls or Jersey boys balls.
It's Jersey balls
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They bought those racks, and he was telling me about it when we were at Justin's. I was like, oh dang. He was just saying he was going to get rid of those, and he bought them all. Yeah. I was like, I didn't even see them go up for sale or say anything. They were already sold. So it must have been a good deal.
Yeah.
Jersey guy balls. Yeah.
They have a crazy collection.
Yeah, crazy. I've seen that.
Yeah, he picked up the clown, Sunset Clown.
Mm-hmm.
Sunset Clown visual. I was like, woo.
Yeah,
I'm trying. I've been looking at it. Haven't been sold on Sunset yet, and I'm still looking like what gene is gonna make it say, "Oh, okay,
Ultramel.
I need to get this." You think so?
Sunset and Ultramel. Yep, I've seen it. Sunset and Ultramel did it.
It's been made, right?
Yep, it's been made. It did it. That's what brought it to okay. That now is the orange bright animal. That's the color I think it should have been when it came out. But yeah, that's the combo for me. So if you see Sunset and Ultramel together and now in Clown, I think that's a game changer. That was that breakthrough for me that I seen it in. Now, what do you think of the Mandarin at Justin's?
Oh, yeah, I've
Bananas.
seen that. You think it's
That
crazy?
thing was bananas. It wasn't just a Mandarin. Yeah, that's what Darren's holding out. It wasn't just a Mandarin. that's what people fail to tell you. Like, we saw the DG Exanthic Clown. We didn't see one.
Yeah,
we didn't see two. We saw three. This man had three of them.
No,
DG
it's
Exanthic Clowns.
What he puts out, you see one, but he really actually has a closet full of other ones that he didn't show you. He just showed you probably really much the best one that he felt, but he has other ones over there. Like going through the drawers. And I said it before. We went through the drawers, and it was kind of like, okay, wait, did I miss? Wait, hey.
How heavy is he into the pixel? How heavy is he into the pixel?
He had quite a few babies over there. Yeah. There was quite a few baby pixels.
He don't release very many. Oh,
keep the value high.
Yeah.
I think he wants to get it where the value is still going to be high on that animal.
Yeah. And then there's still projects that like don't even get talked about.
Oh,
like he picked up most of this. Yeah, he picked up most of the tornado that's in North America.
I don't think he'll talk about that though, because I think he's gonna jump. He's gonna jump in front of that project, which is smart. Before he starts, talking about it and put it out.
And this is like a roundabout way to get back to our conversation. It's like, hey, what about wait till that gene is proved out, and then put it to all those females, those $20,000 females. Yeah, I think that seems like that's what he's doing. So it's like, it's worked in the past. It's probably going to work this time. So
it's, you know what it is, and I mean I can't speak for most people, but I think most of the smaller breeders, newer breeders, really, really smaller breeders, they're trying to jump in front of trying to get that 1 to 3 new production snakes where they can be that person to sell that snake to Justin.
Yeah.
That I mean, and I get it. Because I mean it's a major breakthrough. I never knew of Hardwire, and I know he's doing his own thing. I love the guy. Tony, man, I talked to him and everything. We messaged. But I didn't know who he was until I seen him on Canova, on Justin's channel. And then I bought our first DG mail. Audra and I got it from Tony. So it's like the connections are there. And again, that goes back to what I was talking about with Delphi out there by you, solidifying those relationships and connections and making people relevant. You have someone on that level, and I think any of us will eventually be able to do that as well, where you can take, for instance, Delphi and bring him onto your channel. He has no social media following, nothing at all. And you say, hey, meet this guy. This is John Scully. He's doing big things with this program. And next, his inbox is full. He has an Instagram page with no post and 2,000 followers, and boom, instant. So it's like you're elevating people, and that's what it need to be about, in the hobby period. As far as
that's one thing that I had to kind of learn is more. I was one of those people that I need to sit back in the lab. I'm just doing what I want to do. I like.
Yeah, I've been picking on him, Miggy. I've been picking on him. Like, get out there, come on now.
Stir the pot, and it's like
cooking it up.
I need to put my face out there. I need to network. I need to campaign. But I'm so like, I like my animals. I like what I'm doing. Forget everybody else. And this is really that breakout point where it's like, hey, people need to see your face. Not that you're just over here in the lab,
Not even just your face. Like, know what you're working with, your projects, the caliber of animals that you're working with, and you specifically, like your setup. And that me and Darren always talk about. I say, you see your setup all the time, every day. Bro, your setup is impressive. I'm like, man, this man got 6 racks, 6 freedom breeder. What normal person got 6 freedom breeder racks? Like, bro, show it off. Like, start showing eggs, start showing all. Just talk to the dog on camera, because what you got there, what you sitting on. I mean, you built out. How long you had your ball python room that you built out at the house? Like, bro, you stop playing.
2013. It's been here.
Yeah.
2013.
I got 6 racks. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Put yourself out there.
Slowly working my way up.
10-year anniversary, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
He's a
didn't even think
vet.
of that like that.
That's right.
It's like,
That's
man.
right. He's a vet. What you 50 this year? 50 years old?
Nice try, boy. Don't you try that. I ain't even close. Like, don't add them numbers up.
We're out to Denny's with that AARP card.
Yeah, word.
Hey, I'll tell you, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's one guy that you see, and you see him on social media, and you seen him here. He is that person, that same guy. There ain't nothing changed about him. He is that person that is accepting and inviting. You know, when we were sitting down with him, it was like, man, really? You would think somebody like that at that caliber would be kind of stuck up. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
he's not. He's down to earth, cool dude. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I was shocked. I'm really impressed by that guy.
It's interesting you say that, but that's majority of the whole industry. That's so crazy. I had that same perception out there at Tinley, and man, I met Keys and Gershon. I met all those guys out there, bro. It felt like, you know, it was just literally just natural. It was so relaxing. It was very welcoming. You know, everybody trying to help out each other, going on each other's channels, and that, bro, it is so cool. So that's the environment we need to try to continue to build. That's what we're trying to do here and keep building it. You know, keep building it.
That and Kittinger Reptiles when he was out there, cool dude, real cool. He gave us a ride back to the hotel, and we were talking about we went out to eat after that, but we went to was it Buffalo Wild Wings, I think it was, and they were starting to drinking even more, and just sitting there talking to him on the car right there, you know, and it's like, man, I think you made it. He still feel like I'm not there yet. I'm like, yeah, you are. You saw the snake to Justin, like.
But you know what?
Bigger than that.
That's gonna make him. That's gonna make him, you know, big. Honestly, that's gonna make him make it, because I think complacency is the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So if he's feeling like, you know, I think he's doing amazing. But if he's feeling like he ain't there yet, that's gonna keep him hungry. That's gonna keep him hungry. That's gonna keep him with, you know, goals and striving forward.
Yep. He even sold the DG pie to Garrick DeMeyer. I was like, yeah. Like, you're selling to people that it's like, I'm watching them.
Yeah, I was there at that one. I was there at that one. I was like, man, that's huge. And that's before I would even got in the market for the DG pods.
Yeah, but I was like, man, this guy, I ain't even made it yet. I'm like, whatever.
I was telling Mike the same thing. Mike pulls up. He did a post. Mike at Insane Clown Pythons. I'm like, who in the world got, you know, DG double head clown pod females, 3 of them just like sitting in tubs? Like, yeah, these not for sale. I'm like, golly, like I'm sure people knocking down his door to buy them. You know, and his, you know, his situation is elaborate, man. He's got so many. I think he said he had 100 DG combo females, breeders.
Yep.
Bro, that's so, man, that's next level. I think that's the definition of next level right there. You know, so, but again, you got to constantly compete with yourself. Stop worrying about it. I mean, and I think we're good on that, because I love to see everybody do well. I can, you know, pat them on the back. I can congratulate them. You need to be able to do that with no hate in your heart, and be able to know that your time is coming and you're on a different path. You know, I think if everybody can do that, you know, they'll submit themselves.
So, like, I know how you feel, Will, about this, but Miggy, how do you feel about this? You know how some people say, hey, when you first get into it, pick one project and run with it. Don't really look at it. Just pick one thing and run with it. How do you feel about that?
That's how I started. I still think I'm in that lane. I mean, you're starting to hear people talk about diversity is like going to help a lot more as we continue in like these market conditions, but I still think that's a valid way to start, because if you get too scatterbrained from the beginning, you're never going to have a direction, and you might never get to that one snake that you really love by being pulled in so many directions. Because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's capital starting out is different. Everybody's space is different. So I think picking one project, whether it's a double, whether it's a triple, or even a quad, just it's going to depend on how much capital you have to throw at it. If it's a hobby, if it's a business, but really trying to stay focused is really key in diving into that, because there's so much to do. Like, say you have a triple, that's my goal at the moment. There's so many different avenues that you can take it. I have 60 snakes at the moment. All but maybe 4 are focused on the Holy Grail stuff. Yeah. And there's so many genes. Like, there's bongo leopards, there's leopards, there's Odienchis, there's yellow belly. Like, trying to work all these different codoms in are going to take ages. So focusing on one project and bringing in cool genes, cool codoms to make the different triples with codoms is going to take ages unless you have infinite capital to throw at it. So I think it's a very valid way to start.
So what also I'm hearing people doing is that they're starting to think about, okay, so once I have it in the clown pie, right, and I have leopard in there, now do I get rid of my single gene leopards? Because people are starting to do that too, where they have, or their het leopards, because they already have it in other two. And then some people are saying, no, I still keep on to that animal. So what would you do?
Depends on space. If you have the space available, why not keep them? Because if it's a female, it never really makes sense to sell a breeder female. You put a $10,000 male to her, your average clutch value is $5,000 on the bottom end. So if you have the space to do it, I'm keeping it.
Exactly. It's funny you say that, because it literally boils down to exactly what you said: space and business plan. Like, it needs to financially make sense, because if you're selling that, it is really, you're working against yourself. You're getting a small drop in the bucket comparatively with what you would do, unless you're stepping up genetically, like Ozzy, strategically replacing females and doing it that way, because then you don't lose. But that's why it's a constant battle, because I think even now we have, out of the 113 snakes, I think we have 13 to 14 males. Everything else is females. So yeah, that's definitely a game plan to have.
Well, the reason that Ozzy is selling stuff and females or just snakes in particular is because he wants to stay a certain size.
Right. And that makes sense. So, and that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. But in order to do that effectively, you got to understand his business mindset, though. What'd you say?
With that being said, now, I know he was saying he was 100 and something. I don't know. I've seen him walk around the room, and in that basement, I'm like, I don't think there's less than 106. Yeah, I think there's quite a more, because I see those rats.
I think that's his breeders. I think he got a lot growing out. I think Ozzy got a lot growing out. I mean, you got to look at it too. When you see him post, sometimes he'll post freaking 1,000-gram females or 1,000-gram males. I think he just did that with like a candy pod or something like that, or 2 of them. And he just kind of holds on to projects. And, you know, again, in my head, I'm a business guy. It only makes sense. You're breeding your rats, so it's costing you pennies on the dollars. Why flood the market with insane quality?
Man, that makes
when you can also jump in front, and I don't know if that's an angle he want to touch, but he's never said don't say it. But if you can jump in front, like what I just did, at the end of the day, if Ozzy puts on the market and it hasn't really cost him anything but pennies to put a 1,000-gram candy pod het ultra male breeder male up for sale that he's not breeding, he just literally grew it, threw it in the tub, took care of it. And now he sees an opening on the market where he's gonna post it up for sale, and somebody else has that market at, I don't know, $5,000 for a hatchling for the same one. You can get it from Ozzy, which holds more weight because he's created that for himself. He has a brand and a name, and you're gonna buy a hatchling with the same genes, 100 grams for $5,000, or are you gonna buy 1,000-gram ready to breed from Ozzy for $10,000? I mean, for me, I'm going to Ozzy because it's double the money, And that
But
sucks.
he's ready to breed.
So you're creating a whole nother lane for yourself. And again, pay attention to Ozzy. He bought new racks. He said he's offering, these males up. He's gonna keep pushing them, but females that he's not willing to cut prices on, he's gonna put them in tubs. So when the market comes back, don't think you ain't gonna see some insane combo ready to breed females that he's never even bred up there for 30 grand, 25. It only makes sense. It's like putting money in the bank.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's like putting money in the bank.
But there also is the other side of the coin. If they're not breeders, I like Justin's approach a lot, where it's like, hey, if I can sell this entire clutch that I just made, if I sell this, can I buy something that's the best on the market? So if it's not the best on the market in the clutch, sell that and then get what is.
Absolutely. But it is what it is. So you have that Grail male. I thought you had two of them. Did you have two males?
I pulled out the second one for a second. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. I thought I saw that.
One's het pied, another one's not?
Yeah. He's a backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
The back.
Oh, so you did get
all right. There.
Was the male breeding?
So here you go. Show that cryptic male, man.
The backup breeds better than the het pied boy.
Oh wow.
Really?
Oh wow.
And he's smaller. Yeah.
And he's smaller? Now, you okay, do you think weight had something to do with it then?
No.
Really? All my males, I think my bigger male.
He's a 1,400 gram like lean boy. He's not gigantic. Like he's like he should be in his prime.
And what how old is he?
6. So he's a little older.
He's 6?
These things go forever.
Even being a little bit older.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He breeds like a champ. But the smaller one, every time I open the tub, he's locked. This one, he's like wrapped around, like hugging the girl and stuff. So.
Oh, he's just trying to finesse her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Let him take her out to dinner. He OG. He doing a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Them young bucks, they just trying to put the pimp hand down.
Oh my God.
And go in, wham bam, thank you. I'm out. See you.
I'm out of here.
Time's up. I gotta move on.
As far as updates, I guess like every 2 weeks, I know you always up here, Miggy. So you want to drop in. I need to probably I need to get your logo file, and I can definitely start promo and marketing for that because we're big on marketing. So we'll push and push. We'll schedule a time and date that's good for everyone and try to make it more consistent, especially where we can talk about positive things that's going on in the industry in that moment when we're going live, things that can influence the market, especially being new, me being really, really new, and Darren being a solidified vet in the game. But
I still don't even consider myself a vet. It's like,
man, I do.
I just still don't.
Yeah, I hit up any issues I have. I hit Darren up. Even my girl will say, I'll just say the same thing, or my fiance will say the same thing. Let me make sure I call her my fiance, but she locked the doors on me. But she'll say the same thing. She say, I'm always on the phone.
Sleeping with a little piggy.
On the phone with Darren. Yeah, I gotta keep looking. Make sure I don't hear that punch pad pushing because you be coming down here. But yeah, she's crazy like that. She's crazy like that. But if this works Sunday, if it works Sunday,
figure out somebody to also put on.
Oh yeah. It's an open platform. We do whatever you guys want to do. And talk about. We can even get a schedule out where we can, politic and make sure we go in a certain direction with the conversation so we can make that. So I think we covered a ton of stuff. It's actually been 2 hours. We covered a ton of stuff. And it flew. It really flew.
It doesn't seem like it.
When you're having fun. When you're having fun.
Yeah. You're trying funny, boy. Oh man. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. See, he says put him on the guest list. Well, hey, you ain't gotta ask twice. You on?
Oh yes, definitely. Because
We'll
I've been watching this stuff for a
definitely
long time.
Yep.
I need to ask him a few questions. Just tell him some stuff. I really want to get in his head because some of the stuff that he's been going with the albino. Did he hit the albino clown yet?
I don't think so.
I know. Since I've been watching him talk about that, and I just want to see if he hit it yet because it's been a few years. You know,
I don't think he hit the albino clown yet. Yeah, I think.
Did he post anything up on it? You should ask him.
I think he hit Hex. Oh wow, he just commented. He said he hit the albino inchy clown. Oh yeah, we gotta get him up here. Absolutely.
Congrats.
Oh
Huge
yeah,
congrats.
let's see. I want to see how that looks. I don't think anybody's hit that yet, have they? Or they haven't posted it.
I don't think they have.
I hope it's super orange.
Yeah, because
that'd be dope.
That would change where people, you know. Well, Justin's didn't he hit the inchy lavender clown pied? I think he has one, doesn't he? Did we see one?
I don't know if he has Enchi. I know he has the Holy Grail though. But the Holy Grail, it still holds its color crazy. So like the side like saddles are super orange still. It's crazy.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. It's just it's mind blowing, and it's also, you know, I've said it time and time again. It's intriguing. It's like, hey, all right. It's almost seeing the partial end game, like, oh, more and more. It's like I could do this too. Wait. It's just over and over again. It's a hit after hit.
Yeah.
Another
hit. Last question. Miggy, how many of your females ratio wise would you say have pastel in them? A good portion? Are you eradicating it out of your, or is that something you don't look to pull in, or you make conscious efforts to keep it out?
I want to say like 25% of the females are pastel.
Oh no. Okay.
So
okay.
Pastel doesn't scare me too much because I work with Lav, and in Lav, it's a brightening gene, so it makes Lav look better.
Right.
So
okay.
I mean, and Justin just did that whole thing where Pastel's back in business, baby. So let's go.
Oh my God.
It's coming back. He's making a comeback. It's just like, hey, it ain't no different than Jinko jeans. You remember Jinko jeans?
Yeah, I hear you. I respect Justin, but nah, bro. it ain't no comeback.
Well, you gotta look at
specific jeans. Yeah, I think it definitely complements like DG. Even though I'm still trying to keep it out of my DG stuff, but
I have one DG girl and she's pastel and she is insane.
Yeah,
insane. She's
Ooh,
also het for.
Let's see.
Is she het lab too, or?
And
we find out he got a DG pastel DG het lab.
Got a little bit of pastel in it.
Uh-oh.
I you know, for me, man, I can't run from it. I've already had it. It's in there. You got
to show off your super pastel spider.
Get it out of here.
So look at the head on her.
Pastel spider. There you go. Hey, so in DG, for some reason, the pastel makes the black black. You've noticed that, Miggy?
I think that's the head influence.
What is it?
So it is het lab?
She's het clown het pied.
Oh, I'm about to say, holy crap.
And I think it's the het clown influence, because the het clown will bring in like the super blushed out head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it just enhances the colors a bit.
Wow.
So I think that's the het clown.
This female's mean as hell. Hold on. Look, she's not het
a good
clown.
eater.
Wow.
Wait.
That was one of the ones you picked up not too long ago.
Yeah, see how the head is blushed out, but it's
so that's pastel too.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Come on.
Yeah, I think pastel looks phenomenal in DG.
But it makes the black. Look how dark the black is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then when you add fire to it, it takes it out.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Watch. It takes the black out. See that?
What? What? Why does that look brown?
Exactly, because there's fire. It's DG fire.
Well, Inchy didn't do the greatest for my mail.
Really?
Let's see. Look at the head. The head.
Yeah. Because he looks similar to that fire. He's not dark. But that's how Inchy does.
On,
so.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's brown. It browned it out. I was like, oh. As a baby, it looked pretty good. It was pretty dark. Let me see.
Right. Do you think it's because fire just brightens everything?
Yes, I kind of think, and it kind of went into the black part. Yeah,
I think
that's just Inchy DG.
Yep.
See, and it took the black out a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think this is actually. I think this is actually the snake that made Audra not really that into DG. Actually.
Really?
Yeah. She's
like, DG clowns. I don't know. DG pies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it hit Inchy, but then for that pie project, I think Inchy has to be in pretty much everything to get those other combos in pie, because of a lot of them will bring out the white, make it more high white. So it almost like it's a need into pie.
So and then also I'm going for the triple on that one. At some point, again, I'm years in front, which is why I try to jump in the deep end, go as deep as you possibly can, comfortably. Because the end game is not just DG pods. I want to hopefully relatively soon. I have a few other girls that are triple hets, DG pod and hypo. So that's the triple we're going for, DG pod hypos.
I think it also Audra washed out the yellows.
The hypo. Have you seen the DG hypo clowns?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I haven't.
DG, I do think DG is gonna be in the majority of the big time combos.
Projects.
It's so heavily sought after. Other projects are too, but DG, as far as that color, is gonna be in some of everything. I can't wait to see that DG tornado. That's what I want to see now. So,
now, one of the things that I always think about, right now we're getting to projects where you can pick up projects, right? Because people are already into stuff and they got visuals. You buy visuals. Now, we're going to be to that point where now you can't buy it. And if somebody has it, they're not letting it go if they're working on that project, especially some of these quads. When we get to the quads and trying to get to the visual. I seen one guy, what'd he do? He just hit the Xanthic clown pie. Did you see that, Miggy?
He had two of them.
What?
He had two
from a head to head.
Yeah, he had two of them.
I was like, I wouldn't let none of that stuff go, but I mean, we're gonna get to that point where it's like you're gonna be holding back quite a bit.
But you know what? The industry needs that, and I love the fact that it was, I guess not necessarily televised, but it was put out there where everybody can now go see it on YouTube. And the reason I say that, because I'm not big on, the het route. I'm just not. If the visual route is there, but the reason I think that that's a good avenue and a good publicity for the industry as a whole is because now it's going to put more people in general their faith back in heads, going back into I'll just do a head-to-head pairing, and it's kind of good.
Well, with genetic testing, it's become more viable.
Oh yeah, and then also it creates an avenue for all our byproducts as well. So you gotta
Well,
commend
what's
that.
crazy
So
about
you
that?
shoot for something you miss. Now you have an avenue for it.
You know why you probably didn't see that, Miggy? It's because the guy who posted the video up, he breeds geckos. So I follow him on YouTube.
Yeah. Gecko.
So you wouldn't have seen that.
Gecko correction,
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen that. So you're probably following a lot of ball python breeders, but this gecko breeder goes to a ball python guy's house, checks out his facility, only breeding for 2 years.
Recorded it. Yep.
And recorded it. So I was like, wait, what is this guy doing at a ball python guy's house?
See,
and that came
but
out.
This is the thing. This is what I take from it. Everybody, I know a lot of people say, oh, everybody wants to be a YouTuber. Yeah, that's cool. Everybody need to do it, man, because I look at everyone. You can have no view, no followers to the big time guys. If it's information to be put out there, I want to watch it. I want to look at it. It drives Audra crazy, but I want to watch it. That being said, you know, if anyone is into this social media era like it is now, with social media being what it is, and you take 2 double heads, triple heads, or whatever, and you breed them together and you hit, you need to literally at that very moment create a YouTube, create social media, and put it out there. Because if anything is going to click for you, was that one, it was like 1 in 264 chance that you hit, and you hit, put it on camera, because everybody is going to go and look at it. Everyone instantly.
Well, the one of the like better stories, I think the reason I remember the story is because a family in Texas hit a holy grail off pos heads.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Wow.
They hit a holy grail off pos heads. So I think they were like 66%. And it was just nuts. I was like, dude, I've got visuals here just growing up. Like I've got triple heads just growing up. I'm like, and I'm still 2 years out. Like the odds to hit that, I'm like, I dislike you so much right now, but great job.
Great job.
No, that's true. When you see it, it's like, man, the chances. It's to me, it kind of makes it a little bit addicting because it's like, okay, I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? Especially with what I got, it's like if I take a double head to a double head because it was one of those things, but that's really a triple head to a triple head,
right?
So you might have
to
take
these
these chances when we get to these quads.
Well,
you're gonna have to take the chances.
I like the odds of going quad to quad because your chances of hitting doubles are 1 in 2.
Yep. So we're gonna have to get to that point.
We're gonna be there because I got.
You can probably make it
because
this
I'm
year.
doing G stripe. I'm doing Mojave G stripe hypo to an ultramel pod. So I'll have quads out of that. So
okay. So now with that being said, how many have you seen on Morph Market?
I haven't seen any.
Exactly. So
I haven't seen any.
But think about it.
I haven't seen any.
When you don't have,
and I got 2 different ones. I'm doing that's already going, and she should be laying. So I got 2 different G stripe hypo females. People sleep on it, but that clown G stripe, and that's gonna be next time. But I did both of them that's gonna be to the pied males. So that's ultra male pod to G stripe hypo with Mojave at play, and then I also have another G stripe hypo female that's going to end up going to that Desert Ghost pod male. So going to definitely do both of those on the quad side, and then you got to start filling the rack with some old backs.
I've been really considering going down the lavender Kiki route.
Really?
So yeah, I'm really curious if it does what sugar does, because you know how the Kiki ball, it gets the weird shaped alien heads, and like the blushing inside is like speckled and like kind of lighter.
Now you got to tell them what the Kiki ball is.
Oh, it's the G stripe clown. Sorry.
Right.
Okay.
I want.
Some people might not even know.
Yeah.
Oh so no, I knew that
one. No, but I'm really curious to see if the G stripe clown has like the same effect that sugar does in lab, by making that alien head like white, crystallized like that. I think that'd be a really cool route to see.
It
Hey,
might.
well,
It
you
might.
know you
I
got
mean,
you got a ton of lavender there to work with, so
Yeah.
that man
now,
about to be
have
the
you
lavender
seen some of
king.
the different expressions of the lab? Really?
Absolutely.
Like, okay.
Absolutely. Like I have a lab girl that her head is like neon yellow.
Yeah.
Crazy. I've got some that aren't.
Okay,
It's
so
like, go ahead.
just like that, there is the different expressions of the albino. And I don't know if you've seen the 2006, I think it's World of Ball by Tracy Barker. They did a book. I sent it to you, Will, where people trying to sell it for $600 now. But that book, she breaks down all the different color palettes of albino. You know, so now I'm seeing that we're having that in lab, but nobody talks about it no more. And they were selling back in the day, if it was basically high contrast, people were selling those albinos for more, but you get more of a different blushing on the head. And labs have that too, but nobody talks about it.
No, it's super interesting. I'm sure it's just all about line breeding, like the best genetics. Like that, it's like a topic of how OD became high OD, and that.
Because we were line breeding it without thinking about it. We're all doing that in the ball pythons, but we're not calling it line breeding. We're not. We don't. You know, in every other creature, they kind of do it, and every other like animal, they line breed everything. They do it in dogs and they do it in geckos too. You know,
I was just gonna say, isn't that like how you get the highest quality geckos? Is by breeding like the highest expressions, or?
Yes, we work it a little different, but yes, to end the plain old answer is yes. We do like to touch on like untapped genetics, which is why we import, a lot, and we'll go out and get stuff that's not here and basically take their 10 years of work and put it to our 6 years of work, and and they're all in the same family of genetics for the most part, and just basically putting the best of the best together, and seeing what you can produce and step up from that. So yeah, same thing.
No, absolutely.
So also what I was thinking, because last season was big for me to really find out that I had some recessive traits that were in my collection that I didn't know, that proved out. And I think you'll probably start seeing that too, because Xanthic showed up in my collection.
I'm laughing because he always on that doggone cryptic.
Hey, it showed up in my collection. We were talking that. I mean, when you first started picking up, we were talking about cryptic back then, right? And how it's a lilac and everything else. Even though you're like, well, I don't like it. I'm like, but you have lilac genes. You have asphalt, gravel. You have all that yellow belly. You do, but I don't like it. You have albino and you have toffee, a lilac. You know what I'm saying? So it's still there. It's just another different gene to be a lilac. So I don't understand why you hate it so much. It's
krypton or cryptic and breed it to climb. I'm like, man, you can have it.
It's so close to puzzle. If you like puzzle, it's so close.
I like puzzle. I like puzzle.
Okay, so tell him, Miggy, when you see it in other genes besides with clown becoming krypton, when it's by itself, it looks a lot like how puzzle does.
Well, look, if it pops up in my collection, everything it touched, I'll be hitting you up like, hey, you can have it.
Hey, remember that, because I'm gonna put you to it too. Do I get free shipping? Free shipping. Make sure it comes this way, because I love it. Hey, it's on camera now. Make sure this live stays on YouTube, so we all hear it. Anything that shows up cryptic in his collection, I get it. Remember that.
Who is out of here?
He said, I'm sending it out. It's gone.
I remember when Justin ID'd it over at Ozzy's on that video. He's like, hey man, that's cryptic. He said, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He said, well, that complicates things.
Everything. Yeah. But it's been in his collection. It's floating around. Now it showed up in his Ultra Mail. It was already in his puzzle stuff. Now it's showing up in his Ultra Mail. It's there. It was a gene that was so silent that we had it. It showed up in my collection from something that I got from Ben Rennick, which she was an inchy spider. And I was like, let me get Inchy.
Hey, Miggy, you know he love his spiders. He love his spiders.
Whatever. I was like, let me read it.
My first clutch ever was a spider clutch. No hate. They look cool as hell. Spiders look cool as hell.
He said it just keep spinning and spinning.
They did
though. Really aren't that bad, but yes. There's some that was really, really bad. It was just...
What's wrong with that? The guys at the club with all the personality get all the girls. They're gonna pass on that trait. These snakes just got the personality. Come on now.
Right.
Come on.
Hey, I'll tell you, people have always talked down about spider and everything for quite a bit, but them suckers breed and they eat. They don't ever miss a meal. They don't ever not breed. You know, you pair them up, they going at it. It's done. Like them girls like them. They all about it. It didn't matter.
Look, even Audra chimed in. She said, "Now watch Cryptic pop up."
It is. You have Ultramel. You have DG. It's in there. It's in there. Don't worry. It's in there. And then you got some animals you got from Ozzy. It's in there.
It's a wrap.
I'm cursing you.
Go ahead, send it this way. I'll take it all day. We got it all day.
Go ahead, I guess, and we'll wrap this session up. This has been a blast. We still got 8 people watching still. We appreciate all you guys dropping in, bugging out with us. We're gonna do it again, like I said, more consistently. The next date I see, we'll post it again, but it should be on the 5th of February. That'll be 2 weeks. It gives us time to get our things together on the logistics side and have an outline on something to go by to address, as well as talking back and forth with the viewers and putting out, like I said, positive content. That's what this channel, collaborations, is all about. But we're gonna sign off. We appreciate
my birthday's the 2nd. Just thought I'd put it out there. February 2nd.
He'd be 50. He'd be 50 on the 2nd, guys.
No, man.
We're going to that AARP dinner. Let's go.
Hey, word. But,
hey, wait,
I appreciate
one more thing. Are you going to Tinley in March, Miggy?
Probably not. Are you?
Tinley,
we're gonna try to make it. Yeah.
You better get out there. It's your first one, right, Darren?
Yeah. This will be
it'll be his first one. Yeah. But everyone have a good one, and we definitely going to chalk it up and chop it up again. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yep, it was fun.
Thanks, everyone.